Hey, Shalom Akim, Kol Halayim La, Yahawah Bahashem Yahawashi, Bahashem Kodash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders, the great millstone of whom I've grown in this truth under. Shalom to the Akim out there that's pushing the truth, that's laboring in the word, and that's pushing the gospel of the great kingdom that's soon to come. Shalom to the Aqua that's listening in, that's remaining true to the faith and remaining faithful and submissive to their husbands and guiding their children. And shalom to the hopeful elect of the 12 tribes scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth. Peace and blessings to you all. Barakatha. All right, so I got an article with you, article to share with y'all. Showcasing the times that we in, man. Right, and this definitely had my eyes popping when I saw it, man. This is reported by RT News, and it says Putin on Ukraine and the West. Key takeaways from latest speech. It says the collective West clinging on its crumbling dominance has been the ultimate driver of this crisis, Russian president says. Now, what comes to mind immediately is the book of Joel. Let's get that real quick. All right. This is Joel chapter 3. Joel chapter 3. Let's start off with verse 6. It says, the children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Grecians, that ye might remove them far from their border. All right, this is speaking about Esau, Edom, man, what they did to us, what they, when they took us from here in Americas and over in West Africa, right? And it says, behold, I will raise them out of the place whither ye have sold them, and will return your recompense upon your own head. And I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hands of the children of Judah, and shall sell them to the Sabeans, to a people far off, for the Lord has spoken it. Right? And no matter how much Esau wants to wiggle out of this judgment, it's going to happen. It's going to happen regardless. Right? Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war. Wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Let the weak say, I am strong. And that's what's happening right now, man. That's what's happening, right? Nobody would ever dare, step up to America the way the world is stepping up to America at this point, right? Like I'm now hearing word that Russia is calling on China to assist them in military aid, right? The same way we saw there was a Chinese reporter over in Kiev, reporting on the situation that's happening there, and the person that was reporting on this made an interesting statement. You don't send your own reporters into another country in another country's war, you know what I'm saying, unless you know that other nation that's at war is an ally of yours. Okay, so let's continue with this. It says President Vladimir Putin gave an extensive speech on the Ukrainian crisis on Wednesday, the day of the Passover, as he met with regional heads to discuss measures of socioeconomic support to counter the wave of anti-Russian sanctions, right? To counter the wave of anti-Russian sanctions, because if America is not going to allow Russia to go, to further itself economically, then what's going to happen? They're going to have to turn to other means, aka China, right? And just like China, they're rolling with the Saudis. You see, America's dominance is crumbling. We're going to get into this, man. Putin provided his take on the ongoing conflict with Ukraine, its causes, and the goals Russia pursues. Conflict was inevitable. It says launching the special military operation was the only option Russia had left to end the years-long bloodshed in eastern Ukraine, Putin stressed. At the same time, limiting its scope to the breakaway Donbas republics would only push the front line westwards, rather than diffuse the situation, he noted. While waging the war against the breakaway regions of Donbass, Kiev has been preparing for a broad offensive to recapture them, Putin said, adding that almost 14,000 civilians, including children, have been killed in the conflict. Russian authorities also sought to attack Crimea, which split from the country back in 2014 and joined Russia via a referendum. Encouraged by the U.S. and other Western countries, Ukraine was purposefully preparing for a scenario of force, a massacre, and an ethnic cleansing in Donbass. A massive onslaught on Donbass and later Crimea was just a matter of time. However, our armed forces have shattered these plans, Putin said. Kiev actively sought weapons of mass destruction. Okay, and what we got going on right now with the latest scandal in America is that they're finding all these nuclear bioware facilities, bio laboratory facilities, all throughout the country of Ukraine, right? Initially it was 26. We're finding out that it's far more than 26, right? And they were all funded by America. So these are essentially American biolabs in Kiev, in Ukraine. I'm not sure if it's specifically in Kiev, but it's in Ukraine, all throughout the country. So it says Ukrainian authorities have openly stated their goal to obtain weapons of mass destruction, namely nuclear bombs and means of their delivery. Russia's president has said that given the extremely hostile attitude of Kiev, such systems would have been used to target Russia once they were ready. Right? This was the whole point as to why Putin didn't want NATO to acquire Ukraine as an allying country, because that would be their weapons right on Russia's doorstep or backyard, or however you want to put that. Putin also touched upon Ukrainian biolab network allegations raised by the Russian military amid the offensive. Right? You don't make what's the word I'm trying to use? You don't seek a council with the United Nations over such matters unless you have significant, and sufficient data to back that up and evidence. You see what I'm saying? It says the facilities scattered across the country have allegedly been engaged in biological weapons development with direct support of Washington. The allegations, backed by documents published by the Russian military, have been met with varying degrees of denial from the top U.S. officials. And of course, they're going to deny that. There was a network of dozens of laboratories in Ukraine where military biological programs were conducted under the guidance and with the financial support of the Pentagon, including experiments with C19 strains, anthrax, cholera, African swine fever, and other deadly diseases. Putin said, adding that now frantic attempts are underway to conceal the traces of these secret programs. And we're seeing that. We're seeing that. You know, the level of denial is unreal with Washington right now. You know, yeah. So let's continue. Ukraine established as an anti-Russia. Over the past few years, under the close guidance of the Western handlers, the Kiev authorities have morphed Ukraine into an anti-Russia state, Putin suggested. The only goal of the incumbent Kiev regime is to drag the conflict on for as long as possible, with little regard to the fate of the civilians or destruction that ensues. Right? And Lord willing, I got a video to share with y'all, you know, regarding this whole conflict. And there's a Rothschild, the actual heir to the Rothschild fortune and head of family, has something very interesting to say. So I'm gonna share that with y'all later. Lord willing. Says the only goal of the incumbent Kiev regime is to drag the conflict on for as long as possible, with little regard to the fate of the civilians or destruction that ensues. We are seeing again and again that the Kiev regime, for which its Western masters have set the task of creating an aggressive anti-Russia, is indifferent to the fate of the people of Ukraine themselves, Putin said. It is also obvious that the Western handlers are simply pushing the Kiev authorities to continue the bloodshed. They are supplied with more and more weaponry batches. They are provided with intelligence. They also received other assistance, including military advisors and mercenaries. Okay, Kiev and West exhibit shocking cynicism. Both Ukrainian authorities and the collective West have exhibited shocking cynicism amid the conflict, Putin said, offering the ballistic missile strike on the center of Donetsk that occurred on Monday as an example of such behavior. The strike killed at least 20 civilians. Okay, let's continue down here. It says crumbling dominance of the West behind global turmoil. This is the final point right here. It says ultimately the West's desire to maintain its global dominance is the root of the ongoing Ukrainian turmoil, as well as crises in the other parts of the globe, Putin believes. Right? So he's talking about, hey man, y'all ain't just losing, you know, your dominance over here. You know what I'm saying, in Europe, you're losing dominance all over the world, man. All over the world. Why? Because the whole world is able to see that you were the ones that was behind all the major conflicts going down everywhere, man. Let's go to Wisdom of Solomon. Let's hit this. Let's get some scriptures. Wisdom of Solomon chapter 3, verse 16. It says, as for the children of adulterers, they shall not come to their perfection, and the seed of an unrighteous bed shall be rooted out. For though they live long, yet shall they be nothing regarded. Their last age shall be without honor. You see, and this is that last age, man. This is that last age. They're not coming to their perfection. They are not coming into their perfection, man. You know, these Edomites is on their way out the door. And they're trying their hardest to cling on to whatever they have left. You know what I'm saying? And they're nothing regarded. Like I said, the whole world is looking at what America has done throughout the past 20, 30 to 50 years. The whole world's looking at it. You know, the whole world is being reminded of how much of a backstabber America is, man. Trust and believe, man. All of her allies is going to be completely gone. All of them allies. Completely gone. It even says, the scriptures even says, thy mother shall be so confounded. Thy mother shall be confounded, man. It's talking about Britain. The birthplace of the birth mother of America. Britain is going to be confounded, man. It's going to turn against America. Dude, watch. Watch what happens. You see what I'm saying? Watch what happens. Japan still remembers. Japan still remembers what you did with Nagasaki and Hiroshima. You know what I'm saying? They still remember Little Boy and Big Man. They still remember them bombs that you dropped, right? Libya, they still remember Gaddafi, what you did. They had a great life before you went up in there and destroyed everything. You see what I'm saying? Somalia, all these places in North and South Africa that have seen all kinds of, let's say North Africa, they've seen a whole bunch of destabilization amongst their countries by the hands of the West. You see what I'm saying? South Africa, what are these Hamites experiencing over there? And many of them are Israelites too down there. You know what I'm saying? But what are they seeing? They're seeing your good old boys who took their land, and now they're demanding it back. You see? And all this destabilization has been happening by the hands of Esau, Edom. Let's continue. It says, today the entire planet has to pay the price for the ambitions of the West. Let's get that. Let's continue. Let's finish this off in Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3, verse 17. Let me finish this piece here. For though they live long, yet they shall be nothing regarded, and their last age shall be without honor. Or if they die quickly, they have no hope, neither comfort in the day of trial. And these devils are on trial, man. They are on trial. The whole world is being reminded of their crimes. You see what I'm saying? And then the prophets are out here declaring their sentence. You see what I'm saying? Esau is not in the best of positions right now, man, because the time for payback is at hand. Continuing, it says, for horrible is the end of the unrighteous generation. So let's go here. Let's get Habakkuk. It's time for these devils to pay the price, man, because they have a bill that's overwhelming. You know what I'm saying? And there's only one way. All these people talking about reparations like $1 billion is going to mean something to you. $1 billion is not going to mean anything once this dollar is crashed. You see what I'm saying? It won't mean a goddamn thing. Not one thing. Right? So this is Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 6. It says, shall not all these take up a parable against him and a taunting proverb against him? All these what? All these crimes that Esau has been perpetuating throughout the entire world, man. Think about this. Think about how much destruction they done caused. You know, let me show y'all something real quick. All right, this is just a small dose. This is just a small clips, a small glimpse of what America has done to the entire world. How they destabilized. They destroyed all these different countries. It says before America, you can look at the left. All these were thriving cities, right? That's why Libya is such a great example. Libya has been such a great example because when you look at what Gaddafi did for his people, you know what I'm saying? You would sit there and say, God damn. You know, these people loved him. I'd love him if I lived over there, man. He was giving people money to you know what I'm saying? If I got married, he would give you money so that you could start a future for you and your family. He gave free land to newlyweds. You can't make this up, bro. He gave free land, free money if you got married, so that you wouldn't have no issues with your your family business, right? Because land is wealth. And if you're able to become self-sufficient, you can build these things. You can build businesses. You can do all these things, man. Build a community, thrive it. You see what I'm saying? What was it? What was Gaddafi trying to fight against? He was fighting against the central banks coming up in there and destroying all this shit. You see, like I really need to go back and look at the things that Gaddafi did for his people. I got to go back and remember that stuff, man, because, you know, what's the scripture say? When the wicked are, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. When the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. Right? You see? So let's look at this. Iraq, you know, that iconic video where they took down the big statue of Saddam Hussein, I believe it was, you know, they had a similar scenario of that. They had a similar scenario of that played out in Call of Duty, Modern Warfare. You see? And they played that, they played that emotional charge in the people, and they kept it there. Why? So the people of America would be in support of what the U.S. government was doing, man. Look at Libya, look at Yemen and Syria. All these places are ruinous heaps. All these places are ruinous heaps. Why? Because of what America did. It says, shall not all these take up a parable against him and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his. This ain't your shit, Esau. How long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. This is why the whole world is mourning. This is why the whole earth languishes, man. Because, you know what I'm saying, the creature is waiting for the manifestation of the sons of the Most High Power, man. We got to come back into order. We got this whole world's got to come back into order, man. And only the Israelites can do this. Right, so let's continue. Let's go back to that article. Okay, so let me read that again. It says, today the entire planet has to pay the price for the ambitions of the West, for its attempts by any means to maintain its crumbling dominance, he said. And Esau is going through great lengths to make sure that he keeps and hangs on to this throne that he's got right now, man. But what's the scripture say? Sit down in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. There is no throne. There's no throne left. It's time for you to go back. Go back to them caves. It's time. Oh, yeah, we're going to drive these suckers back, man. We're going to take them, put them in chains. They are going to be in these caves, right where they belong. Right? We're going to make them work. I mean, we're going to make them work. All this pollution, we're going to make them clean it up. All this trash, they're going to clean it up. It's going to take 1,000 years to clean up Esau's mess. And that's what's going to happen, man. Concerned only with their vested interests and super profits, the Western elites led the world into the current situation through years of mistakes and short-sighted decisions. Damn. This is real talk. This is real talk, man. It says concerned only with their vested interests and super profits. For example, we're seeing what's going on with Thailand right now with the happy juice. All these side effects from this happy juice. You see what I'm saying? Thailand ended up paying out what was it, $45 million? $45 million in damages for the health consequences of taking that happy juice. Meanwhile, America has not given out a single dime. A single dime. You see? They're protected. They're protected. And these people ran up and got that happy juice and never thought twice, hey man, maybe I shouldn't get this because they are making themselves immune from any legal repercussions. But no, the people didn't think that way, man. But let's continue. For instance, the impact of the anti-Russian sanctions imposed over the Ukrainian conflict is already being felt by the common people in the West, while the elites have been bizarrely trying to blame it on Moscow. Bro, you know, there's something else, man. When Putin can tell you, hey, Biden, your people suffering over there, man. Don't you realize you kind of fucking up, dog? You know what I'm saying? You kind of fucking up. But hey, man, let's continue. Verse 7, Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 7. It says, "Shall they not rise up suddenly, that shall bite thee, and awake that shall vex thee, and thou shalt be for booties unto them, because thou hast spoiled many nations. All the remnant of the people shall spoil thee, because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land, of the city, and all that dwell therein." Right? This was an amazing article, man. I had to share this with y'all. All right, so I'm gonna end this off, man. But after this, I'm gonna share a video for y'all to see. All right. And I pray this lesson was edifying. I want to say, call Halayim La, Yahawah Bahashem Yahawashi, Bahashem HaKahakudash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders, a great millstone of whom I've grown in this truth under. Shalom to the Akim out there that's pushing the truth, that's laboring in the word, that's pushing the gospel of the great kingdom that's soon to come. Shalom to the hopeful elect, Slaki. Shalom to the Akwath that's listening in, that's remaining true to the faith and remaining faithful and submissive to their husbands and guiding their children. And shalom to the hopeful elect of the 12 tribes scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth. Peace and blessings to you all. Barakatha. Shalom.
So maybe some things that people are not privy to of what's going on. So the heir to the Rothschild family, Nathaniel Rothschild, today wrote to the members of the British government giving his view that Vladimir Putin is the most dangerous man since the defeat of Hitler and Xi Jinping close second, and explained that Ukraine is an essential piece that we cannot afford to lose in this geopolitical chessboard. Really? There's more. Hold up. We must bring Russia to its knees through any means possible to send a strong signal to the Chinese and to protect our global system of norms and liberal values. Oh, really? There's more. So you can read this next paragraph right there. But the bottom, Putin effect, our current path of lack of military action means that our global order is dead on its feet. I urge you to deploy more force against Russia and its proxies, step up information warfare to correct opinion, especially online, and send weaponry to our friends in Ukraine. Without Ukraine, the global order may not survive. Do you smell panic? Panic mode. And the rest of them, Soros, Obamas, Clintons, Bidens, the list is long as my arm. Panic, panic, panic.